We're here with recent evictee Drake. How are you feeling?
I mean, I said this last time I audio DR, but I was pretty much at peace with it. I sort of, in the back of my mind, always felt that despite everything on paper looking like it was going in my favor, that the winds might have been against me. And I think that I did the best I could given what happened situationally, so I'm not disappointed in myself, aside from, maybe not being a better personality for people to want to keep around.
All right. So where do you think things kind of went wrong for you? Like at what point in your game?
Well, I think things kind of were wrong from the get go. I mean, with the format and because I'm not good at competitions. That's just that's just a fact of life. I'm not good at doing those little internet Discord competitions. So my strength, I think, is if I can get in good with people from the start and form good relationships. And with there being a split house, I really couldn't do that with half the people because I couldn't talk to them. And then when the swap happened and Orange won HOH, then that kind of sunk
Hmm.
me a bit. And I think that there really wasn't much for me to do at that point because I couldn't define myself to other people. I was defined by other people, if that makes sense.
It does. Looking back, do you wish you handled the Arya eviction differently? Or do you still think that was the correct move to take her out there?
So, I mean, I think in retrospect, Arya would have been more loyal to me than Kat. And if I the issue was I wasn't anticipating there to be a swap. I was anticipating us to be separate and then merge at 12. So there to be like four
Hmm.
evictions on each side until then. And if that was the case, then Kat would be somebody who would get evicted before me rather than Arya. However, if there was going to be a swap, I feel like Arya would have been a more loyal ally than Kat would have been. So if I knew that was coming, I probably would have pushed harder to keep Arya. I just thought that Kat was, sort of like would have been more dead in the water than Arya would because
Hmm.
she's more adaptable. But ultimately, I don't think it played a role in my eviction because regardless, they were going to be on the other tribe, so or the other half.
Yeah, that makes sense. So kind of going into the second cycle, Ferg and Josh are on the block, and most of the house wants to keep Josh, but you are really pushing for him to go. So kind of explain like your rationale there.
So I actually had a few reasons as to why. So the first was I was really loyal to the Crickets, and I in general was loyal to the newbies. I wanted us to get all together, stay united, take the vets out because traditionally in newbies versus vet seasons, the vets steamroll the newbies, and I didn't want that to happen, obviously, because I was a newbie. And I
Hmm.
felt that for the newbies in general, and specifically for the Crickets, Josh leaving was the better move since Josh, I know for a fact, knew some of the veterans from other servers. So Josh would be more likely to
Hmm.
flip. Josh is on the same time zone generally as all of us, while Ferg isn't. So he'd have a lot more time when he and other people are both online at the same time to make relationships and make deals rather than Ferg. And also personally, I was really close with Ferg and I really trusted Ferg and I knew that he would probably be more loyal to me than other people. So I think keeping Ferg would have been the right move personally for me, but also for our alliance. And honestly, I still don't understand why they kept Josh. I think it
Hmm.
was a stupid move. And if they all lose, then don't come crying to me. So that's that.
All right, makes sense. So when you were initially put into your like swapped group, how were you kind of feeling about that? Was it a confidence or did you not like your group?
So, I mean, it was mixed, but, and I felt not confident, but I felt like it could have been worse initially before the HOH.
Hmm. All right, so once HOH happens, like you're not feeling too good at this point.
No, because Orange obviously won HOH, and I didn't know a lot about Orange. Kat told me that Orange was like this great social player, which honestly, I don't understand where that's coming from after interacting with Orange, but like that's what I've been told about from Kat. And Orange was the person who I was gonna see if I could like get them out that week because of what I knew from Kat. But once Orange won
Mhm.
HOH and then made me have not and put me up, that actually that actually really pissed me off because Orange, before the HOH results, as you all know, told me that they weren't going to put me up. And I said, yeah, I'm not going to put you up either. So that's really, an agreement. And if you are someone
Mhm.
who makes that agreement and then immediately, like less than 2 hours later, goes back on that, that tells me that you're, and I said it's my audio ER, that you're a liar, you're a snake, you can't be trusted, and you'll say anything to just secure your own safety, and your word means nothing. So that really made me
Mhm.
mad. But once I was nominated, I didn't feel horrible, but I didn't feel great because I felt like I could stay next to GT, and in theory, I could still win the veto. And then when the veto didn't go my way, I was like, but I was still trying to plan things to try to keep myself safe.
Right. Did you notice like any like shift in energy kind of going from a house of newbies to like veterans being introduced into your playstyle?
Yeah.
Like, was it kind of harder for you or easier, whatever the case is?
Okay. So the last question you asked was about how I felt once it like shifted into like newbies versus veterans, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So initially, I felt like there was a change in the wins in that it felt more detached. Like I it felt a lot more cold than it was when it's just newbies. Like I remember like Seth and Abby were nice and Isaac was Isaac, but I went to Isaac and asked Isaac, about well, first I told Isaac about what was going on in the newbies, and I didn't show my whole hand, but I did tell him the general trends because I wanted to, show an act of good faith to say, hey, I'm not hiding something. I'm going to let you know what's going on. And Isaac didn't really fill me in much on what was happening with the veterans. And when I asked him to form a hybrid alliance, he told me, oh, it's, too soon. We should do it at the merge. That that told me that, he wasn't to be trusted. He didn't want to work with me. In worst case scenario, he might have been poisoning the other vets against me. So that was worrying me, but it just felt much
Hmm.
less it felt like they cared a lot less about, and this is also in the context of my own eviction, but it felt like they cared a lot less about personal relationships.
Hmm. Interesting take. Um, well, let's take a look at your goodbye messages. You should see an exit interview channel.
Okay, cool. Do I like? Oh, here we go.
Period. This first one is from
Yeah. Whatever, Seth.
next is from GT.
Okay. Yeah, that was personal. Okay.
Next is from Isaac.
Okay, this one looks good. Let's see what they say. Okay, hey Drake. I told you for him that doing that and someone finding out could blow up the game. Before I guess overplaying, personally, they just aren't playing it. I have to vote you out, but not. No. Okay, whatever.
Next is from Nick.
Okay, I want to see this one. Yeah, Nick, that's not. I don't think that's gonna be happening. So yeah, I do not think that's gonna be happening. The whole friends outside the house thing. So whatever.
Meaning. Next is from Abdi.
Yeah, let's see this. Okay. Whoa. Wow. I hate orange even more. That's just such a. Mm, ooh. Wow.
Some strong feeling there I'm sensing.
I have a lot of strong feelings about these people at this point. Like I'm just gonna say that what I said in the. Is there any more messages? I don't remember what else is in
Well,
here.
We have Orange's message.
Oh God, throw that to me. Yeah, fuck you, Orange. I'm not dealing with you.
And finally, Legend recorded a very short video for you.
Oh, cool. Let's see it. Hang on. I'm externally going to YouTube, so I might have to pop back in. All right, I'm back.
All right, that's on Legend's goodbye message.
Well, I think that Legend's whole thing was ridiculous. I think that voting me out was stupid. I would have been a loyal ally to Legend. I didn't want them to go. I assured Legend multiple times I would take them to jury and beyond, and apparently that didn't mean anything to Legend, so whatever. I don't see what me trying to get Josh out over Ferg had to do with Legend, or what Legend, how that impacted my friendship or alliance with Legend.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, that's a ridiculous vote. I'm not even, gonna justify that. But in general, I just, that just makes everything I said in the living room when I left. I second that, retweet that, pump that up even more. I
Mm-hmm.
would have been a loyal ally to Nick, and he threw that away. And, I was very close friends with Nick. And in fact, I feel like I was closer to him than anybody else. And, he just threw that away. So he gets to deal with that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, honestly, they all just screw him. I hope someone on the other. I hope someone from Gemma wins. Obviously, Orange. The whole telling people I'm a Republican is hysterical, considering I've literally campaigned for Democrats. So okay,
Mm-hmm.
and they're after seeing all these combined messages and seeing people said I'm happy to be gone, and I hope they all lose. So there's that.
Fair enough. We do have a couple fan questions.
Cool. Oh wait,
So,
fan. I know y'all hate me, but it's okay. Like,
so someone wants to know if you're a fan of Drake the artist.
I actually don't really like Drake the artist because I hadn't ever well, for two reasons. First, I hadn't heard their music for the longest time,
Mm-hmm.
and Drake, I just got annoyed that people were always comparing me to a famous artist because no one else had my name except for Drake and Josh. And I'm also just not really into male artists in general, so
Mm-hmm.
just not that big a fan.
Fair enough. Someone wants to know how you think this org slash your game compared to season 3 of Isaac's Big Brother.
Well, I think that I played a lot. Well, I think I played very well in season 3 of Isaac's Big Brother, and not to toot my own horn, but I should have won. But this, I feel like, I mean, I'm the same person. I did the best I could. I think I rolled with every punch I was given. I wouldn't change any of the decisions that I made unless I had different information. Like, but given the information I had, I think I made the best decisions I could. Um, there what I Without going deep into the weeds of like Isaac's Big Brother season 3 and the immediate postseason, I feel like I was really proud of what I was able to do there, and it's really kind of sad that I
Mhm.
haven't been able to replicate that. But I think that it does make me feel a certain way when people are always all like, "Oh, Drake, you were such a good player," but no one ever wants to play with me. So that's something.
Understandable. If you could send a message to Orange right now in the game anonymously, what would it say? Here's
I
Jessica.
would send Orange a quote from Zack Snyder's best movie,
Hmm.
Sucker Punch. Don't make a promise with your mouth that you can't keep with your ass.
Period. Final question, was Helen Kim pushed?
I mean, we've all seen the video footage. It's pretty obvious she was, and I think she might have gotten paid off, but And the only reason that she hasn't talked about it on Twitter is because she desperately wants to be on another season of Big Brother, and she's campaigning hard right now to be on All Stars 2. And I'm hoping she wins.
Screaming.
She's a political consultant or whatever, so she knows what she's doing. But she was pushed. We all saw it, and Davon even talked about it on the feed. So there's that.
Maybe so. But anyways, any final thoughts?
Well, I will say that I genuinely think I did the best I could. I'm sorry if I was disappointing anyone. I'm not that I play. I think I have a very aggressive, strategic mind, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very emotional personality, and I wouldn't make an alliance with somebody without having any intention of even remotely adhering to it. So that makes me, that really changes my perception of Nick, and he can finish the Amazon by himself. I was very close with Nick, and I'm not somebody who would make an alliance with somebody without having any intention of being loyal to it. I think that's dirty, it's slimy, and it's not something that I would ever do. I
Mm-hmm.
really changes how I because Nick was somebody who in this game I thought we were fast friends. We made, the crickets pretty early on, and I was really close with Nick personally. And that really changes how I feel about Nick as, a person because of what he did to
Mm-hmm.
me. And as far as I'm concerned, he can watch the Amazon by himself. I don't care. Uh,
Screaming.
and it was really sad because I was hoping to talk about the merge episode, the Roger boot episode, and some other stuff with him,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not really worth it. And in general, I think that I lost a lot of respect for people based on what happened, and the entire experience really reminded me of being in middle school, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I get it.
well, personally, when I was in middle school, I was like a loser, this bookish kid no one really wanted to be friends with. I wasn't in any social circles. I just don't think it's worth it for me anymore to
Mm-hmm.
pursue friendships with people who obviously couldn't care less about me. And I think I showed myself to all these people, and they really didn't care. So that was it.
I get that. Well, thanks a lot for playing. I personally found you really entertaining. So if
Oh well,
that's any
thanks.
consolation.
I mean, I think I was disappointing, and I kind of want to apologize to everybody for being such a disappointment. But I'm glad you liked it. House.
All right. Craig should be leaving.